Today, Canon have announced two new APS-C cameras into their mirrorless R range, and we had a chance to check both of them out for a first look review. So we've got the R10, we've got the R7, both are offering a lot, but in this video, we're going to focus on the R10. Now, it's worth mentioning up front that everything you see from this camera was shot on a beta sample. So along with the R7, the R10 marks the first time we've seen an APS-C crop sensor camera in the Canon R range of cameras, and honestly, it's been the main thing missing from the range. Now the R10 is sitting just a little bit below the R7, but this is still an awesome, small, lightweight camera, perfect for everyday use, as well as things like wildlife or even sports. It's a great camera for anyone looking to step up from a very entry-level camera or even from a smartphone and really get into photography. And it still packs in a lot of the tech that we love, even from cameras like the R3 and the R5. So let's get into a little bit of spec here. The R10 is rocking a 24.2 megapixel APS-C sensor, and these images are awesome. The detail, the colors, everything looks fantastic. And since we were shooting with lenses like the RF800 f11 and at quite high shutter speeds, we were really able to test out how it handles higher ISO values. And I was really surprised by how good this was. We were shooting ISO 5000, 6400, all the way up to ISO 10,000, and the images are so clean straight out of camera. Now for wildlife shooters or sport shooters, this is such great news because this pairs so well with those lenses, the 600, the 800mm f11 lenses, the RF 100-400 f5.6 to f8, and those are nice affordable telephoto lenses that would go extremely well with cameras like this or indeed the R7 as well. Now something else that helps with that is the autofocus. So we're seeing the dual pixel CMOS AF2 in the R10. And I have to say, it really is amazing to see an autofocus system that good in a camera like this. It really does just work straight out of the box. You don't really have to think about it. It finds the subject, it tracks them to the scene. It really is amazingly accurate. I set the subject detection to animals since we were mostly shooting wildlife, and it would just always find the subject, whether it was a rhino, a tiger, a bird, and it would track it as it moved around the frame. Now, to be honest, I was way more impacted by my own ability to keep up than the autofocus. The autofocus was so good, I just completely forgot all about it and just let it do its thing. Now there's no in-body image stabilization here, that's a key difference with the R7, but you can still shoot 15 frames a second in continuous shooting or bursts of 23 or 30 frames a second when using the electronic shutter. This is absolutely a great all-rounder option for video as well. You can shoot 4K up to 30 frames a second and even 60 frames a second with a crop, and then you've got full HD up to 120 frames a second. Now it's worth noting that 4K is 10-bit 422. So some genuinely really great video options along with a mic input for better audio options as well. Now there's no C-Log 3 here, but then to be fair, that's another difference between this and the R7. Now there's a lot of helpful features available as well, things like the panoramic shot mode allowing you to easily stitch together high resolution panoramic images in camera, as well as things like in-camera depth compositing, which allows you to essentially do some focus stacking in camera. The camera itself is nice and small, it's light, but it still feels comfortable in the hands, but it's that kind of size that you could just take it out in your ordinary bag without really having to worry about it too much. You've also got a nice bright clear EVF as well as the flip out screen, which can be very, very useful. It's even got a built-in flash as well. Now there's only one card slot this time, but honestly I think that's fine for a camera at this level, and moving up to the R7 gives you dual card slots. There's a lot to like with the R10, and it's a fantastic way to get into the RF ecosystem with a lot of the great tech we've seen over the last year or so. It's a great everyday option whether you want to shoot photo or video, and it makes the shooting experience so straightforward. Now of course, you've then also got the R7 sitting above this with a couple of extra features and higher spec, so where the R10 is missing a couple of things, it's difficult to be negative about it because that's really what the R7 is for. You can check out the full spec of this camera in the link in the description. We've also got a first look review of the new R7 on the channel as well, so make sure to check that out. Give us a like if you enjoyed the video, and of course, don't forget to subscribe for more content all the time. I'll see you next time, but until then, thanks for watching.